Hello, everyone. My name is Tiffany Bennett, and I am here to discuss with you today Bravely International, an organization that would start schools, specifically beginning in Syria, um, whose goal is to empower women and girls in the fields of STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, agroforestry, and leadership. Um, our goal is to eliminate gender discrimination throughout the world. So, as I alluded to previously, we believe that girls are the key to unlocking prosperity and revitalization in the world's poorest countries. Bravely International is dedicated to educating girls in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, agroforestry, and leadership. I chose these specific fields because women are severely underrepresented in STEM fields, and it would be a huge asset to have trained people in these fields in Syria to help with their infrastructure and technology. Additionally, agroforestry in Syria is something that could dramatically impact their agricultural sector, which has struggled for years with droughts and desertification. Crops really can't be grown there anymore, and this just exacerbated the entire civil war because farmers were moving off of their land into the cities. And so by developing agroforestry, it would bring nutrients back into the soil to combat the desertification and bring back biodiversity in multiple areas. Additionally, leadership skills would allow these women to take on leadership roles in their communities and in their governments and provide a different perspective. Our vision is a world in which gender discrimination has been eradicated and where every woman is empowered to fulfill her unique potential. Our mission is to empower women and girls to become leaders who create positive and lasting change in their communities, their countries, and their world. Starting in Syria, we will move throughout the Middle East and eventually work in developing countries around the world. Our core values are equality. We believe men and women are created equal, entitled to respect, dignity, and safety. We believe in empowerment and working together to empower women and girls to reach their full potential. In cultural engagement, we believe that every culture has intrinsic value and enriches society in different ways. As a school, we believe in academic excellence and will strive for that by promoting critical analysis, scholarly inquiry, and integrating leadership within our core curriculum. Although we are not overtly a Christian or a religious organization, there are very strong Christian values underlying Bravely International, so servant leadership being one of them. We believe dynamic and influential leaders place the well-being of others above their own. We believe in developing creative, nonviolent responses for today's problems. At Bravely International, we have discovered that violence simply leads to more violence, and therefore students will be challenged to think diplomatically and relationally in every interaction that they have. We also believe in peace and reconciliation, and that is integral to the growth of healthy societies and is necessary in facilitating environments of mutual respect, locally, nationally, and internationally. As an organization, we also believe in responsible stewardship and are committed to transparency, honesty, and integrity in our relationships, our finances, our communications, and our projects. Our marketing plan initially is going to be focused on social media engagement and growing our social media audience. We will primarily be using Facebook and Instagram, doing paid ads and making sure that we have a lot of resources that are visually pleasing, both in photography and in videography. My plan is to take a professional photographer and videographer to Syria to gain some of these pictures and videos, also ensuring that we have a local perspective in our posts as well. There's also a budget for ads on social media. We would also be cultivating a really strong web presence. I have a bunch of money on our budget specifically allocated for our website, and which would also have a blog on it. I would be posting on every other week initially to develop a lot of content. Once that content has been created, I will be posting monthly to just kind of refresh it. And I can get into more detail if you guys have any questions on that specifically. Fundraising wise, I have a couple of different targets that I would be doing, but our main goals in marketing would be education of the public about Bravely International, and then fundraising both small donors and large donors. I have our 3-year budget planned out. Our startup costs would total around a little over $14,000. And then our first year total would be $71,000. Our second year would be $235,000. And then our third year would be around $330,000. The goal by the end of the 3 years is to have 3 teachers hired on, have 2 administrative assistants, have a CEO and a CFO who are both paid. My main goal in our budget was to ensure that all of my employees get really great health insurance and paid time off so that they don't get burnt out. That is something that is very, very important to me, and I want them to feel valued through that. Our funding is going to be very diverse. I have several different sources that we would do. The first one being government grants. That would take up about 10% of our revenue stream initially. However, because that is not guaranteed funding, I don't want to heavily rely on it. And so as Bravely International becomes more developed, we would not be applying for as many government grants. We would also have individual contributors, foundations, corporate social responsibility contracts are my hopes. We'd have fundraising events. We'd have Google ads on our website, and then there would also be school fees that we would be taking in from each child depending on their, it would be a sliding scale, so depending on how much they could contribute, it would vary from like $5 a month to $60 a month. In summary, Bravely International is an organization whose goal is to eradicate gender discrimination around the world. We believe that by educating and empowering women, we will lift up the world's most impoverished countries to achieve economic prosperity and human flourishing. Bravely International will begin in Syria, like I said before, starting a school to educate women in STEM, agroforestry, and leadership classes. Careers in the STEM areas will enable them to contribute to their country's infrastructure and technological advancements. Careers in agroforestry would help combat desertification from severe droughts throughout the past decade. It would enable their agricultural sectors to thrive once again. Finally, in addition to their chosen degree track, each student would be required to take courses in leadership, empowering them to contribute to their country's politics and government structures in order to bring healing to society. So that is Bravely International. If you have any questions or thoughts, I would love to hear them. Again, this is a very, very brief overview. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.